Hello and welcome back to the garden. If we look up, the skies are still grey. We're now mid-June, pushing on through June. We're nearly at the longest day. It's rained, and by the look of the sky it's going to rain again today. Most unusual for this part of the UK. I'm in Norfolk. It's usually really dry here. We're usually one of the driest parts of the UK. This year it's rained, rained. I think most of the UK is the same. We've also had a lack of heat to get everything going. Don't get me wrong, the rain's been good for the plants I moved last year from my old garden to this garden. Has helped them settle in. But what we really need now is some sunshine to help get everything going. We'll have a quick look about. Everything is growing well. Bananas are growing well. They like the moisture, but they could do with some more heat, to be honest. This is Musa sycamensis. I've tried several times in my old garden to grow these. Grow lovely during the summer. I've tried them in the ground. I just can't get them through the winter. I know people locally who can get them through the winter. I've always struggled. The one you're looking at came from an established plant that has done several winters outside locally, so I'm more hopeful of this one. It's a lovely plant. You can see, unlike Musa Basjo, you get a lovely colour to the leaves, especially when they're younger. Underneath is a lovely reddy colour. So I think for this year it's going to stay in a pot. I might pot it on a size just to keep it growing, and that'll be overwintered in the greenhouse. Maybe if I can get it to a slightly larger size, maybe next year I'll try it outside. We walk this way. Another banana, as you can see now. It's very un-June like. The wind is blowing, it's cold and it's wet. But we have to take what we've got. In the exotic garden in this country, you have to expect some bad weather, although this year it's been a lot of bad weather. Anyhow, on to the point of today's video. We moved in. The patio was already here, or the slabs are already here. I've lifted a few to allow the planting of the new trachycarpus to get that into position. As you can see here, the slabs butt here turn to York stone, which looks like it's been here for many years. We then go down a step, including loose stones, to a rather uneven seating area here. Recently had canopy installed. I like a canopy in the garden. We had one previously in our other garden. Even in this weather, when it rains, you can sit outside under shelter and look at the garden. Also, during the winter, you can use it to provide dry conditions for plants that can take cold but don't particularly want to be wet all winter, so it's good on two counts. Quick look down that border. As you can see, everything is filling out, but slowly. Back to the paving. The paving is going to come up. I've taken the decision. I was going to put it off till next year, but I'm going to do it this year. What I want is paving to run through to provide continuity, so you can walk around and all the paving is similar. So what I'm going to do is lift all the slabs, lift the York stone. It's not going to go to waste. I inherited the raised bed you can see around, and I've changed the planting somewhat, but I'm going to build another couple at some point, so the stone won't go to waste. I'll keep that and I'll reuse that to build some more raised beds. I think at the moment we're favouring limestone paving to go down. So the plan is it's going to come down down here, along the side, the area over there, and the path down the side to the side gate of the property. So that's the plan at the minute. Hopefully over the next few weeks I'll order the materials and start lifting the slabs to make a start. Quite a big job, not a cheap job to be fair, but once you get it done it should be good for years. So that's what's going to happen with the paving. We'll have a quick look in the greenhouse while we're here. Most things are right now. As I said earlier, I'm loath to put the colocasias out too quick. From experience, they don't like going from the heat to the cold, and it's really been cold and miserable this year, so they're going to sit in there a while longer. I've got a few in here. Leaf on that is quite impressive. That's white lava. There's a few others in here waiting to go in. The one with the bigger leaves here is Jack's Giant. I've had that several years now. I'll be honest, it's never been giant, but I'm going to give it a bit more feed and a bit more room this year to grow. Now 2 in the pot. I started with 1. Some of these bulk up quicker than others, but an essential plant for the exotic garden, I think. I think that's burgundy stem. I can't remember. I've had that a number of years. You'll have to excuse the weed in the pot. Another nearly hardy, I would say. Now it looks like it's now putting a flower spike up by the look of it, so that'll be interesting. The foxgloves are still going strong, and the rest of the garden, considering the weather, isn't too bad at all. I'll show you quickly while we're here. Brassiops mitis. Did have it further round in the garden, but I think it was in too much sun. It's a shade loving plant. It likes to be shaded for most of the day. It's a fantastic plant. I wouldn't be without this. There again, it's still in a pot. I'm not 100% convinced of its hardiness. I'll keep it in the pot this year. Maybe next year I'll get brave. I've been brash in the past with plants. They'll take a minimum of whatever, planted them out and lost them. So I'm being more cautious with this. I'd like, if you have experience of keeping them outside, especially in a colder winter, I'd be interested to hear. Maybe leave a comment below. Just have a look at the trunk that's forming. They are nasty spines up the trunk. It's quite amazing really that still snails manage to get up to try and nibble on the leaves, but wonders of nature. I think since we last looked at the garden, the older tree fern fronds have started dropping, the ones that have been touched by the frost in the winter. New ones are staying nice and green and up the top. Years ago I used to remove these to tidy up. This time I'm not going to. If you look, they're hanging down against the trunk of the fern. That one's a good case in point. They hang down. I'm actually going to leave them to hang down alongside the trunk from now on. What this does, keeps the moisture in. And in the winter it also helps to insulate the trunk. So that's what I'm going to give a try from this year onwards, and I'll let you know how it goes. That's really it for today's update from Heathcroft Garden. Everything's plodding along nicely. Still getting fresh growth on things. Leaves are getting bigger. Things are growing slowly. We've had enough rain now, we could do with some sun. So the point really of today's video It's just to show you the paving and remind myself what the old paving looks like before I change it. Join me next time in the garden. See you soon.